Good morning, guys. So today is finally the big race day of the FiM Asia Motocross Championship, and I already checked my bike, and I'm gonna go and have a look at the start straight to see how it looks after a bit of rain. But before we go and look at the track, I just want to show you a clip from the last lap to show you guys how close I was to losing the race. Look, that's the second place guy right there, and I was unbelievably lucky that this didn't end bad, and I'll talk about what I should have done better at the end of the video when we go through this. So here's Team Good Boy with the Australian YouTuber Joel Evans. They're working on his bike now. Yeah, so if it stays dry and it doesn't rain, the traction should be good around midday where my race is. And regarding the gate choice, I will make the final decision when I see how they groom the track. Maybe they'll fix those bumps right up there, and then I'll make the final decision. But definitely I prefer towards the inside if there's no big water puddles on the inside. It's nice to see they're cleaning up the start straight from mud, because it's very muddy, and that would be tricky and risky in turn 1 if they didn't clean it up, so that's good to see. So now we're getting some food, and it's cool. There's also a sale of tires and extra bike parts. And in the morning I did some suspension changes that I'll do a separate video about. They'll be available for members only who have joined Fast Club or joined the YouTube channel on Fast Club level. And in that video I'll also talk about a mindset routine that I used to prepare for this race, to manage the pressure better and maintain high confidence. And this mindset routine is something I heard from a coach who has coached some of the most winning Olympic athletes ever. Anyways, let's get back to the race day. And here you could see the tractor just went off the track, and now we got 10 minutes of warm-up before the race. So here you can see me in the front. I'm lining up to enter the track for warm-up. They send us in one by one. And I was really excited to feel the suspension changes that I made to make the setup softer and better suited for high speed without jumping the big Supercross jumps. Because the FiM, they made some rule changes, as you maybe know from the video yesterday. So the vets class that I'm racing, between 35 to 49 years old, of the fastest guys in Asia, we are not going to jump the 2 Supercross jumps that have gaps between. So this allowed me to test a different setup on the suspension. Okay, so now I'm done with practice, and I have some good news, and that is the suspension settings I made worked so good. The bike is much more planted on the ground with the softer setup, and it doesn't bounce around as much. It's perfect. I'm super happy, and I feel ready to race in just about 1 hour. Right now I'm just sitting and cooling down in the truck, and then when the time gets closer, I'm gonna warm up my bike again and do a couple of practice starts just nearby. There's actually a big field where it's possible to do a few practice starts, also just to adjust the clutch and warm up the clutch, so it's already up to operating temperature. So let's get ready to race soon. See you at the starting gate. Of course, under the fenders. And then I'm also gonna sharpen my foot pegs, because they get dull when it's muddy, you know. It's just like a grinding paste that makes them not sharp anymore. So, because I had one moment where my foot slipped off the foot peg right before I jumped. So I don't want to do that again in the race. I also tightened up these 2 screws on the handguards, because I could feel they were getting a bit loose, because the plastic stretches a bit when you're riding, I guess, over time. So I tightened these up again so they don't move around when I'm riding. And now let's just sharpen the foot pegs in. First I'm just gonna clean them for mud. And just give them a little bit. You can feel the difference. Now it's like it doesn't feel sharp here, but now here it's much sharper. So that's another good little tip if you're riding in mud, especially. Okay, and then after I'm done with this, The bike is ready to go. Only those two big jumps, no jumping. Okay. But can jump everywhere else.
Yeah, and then checkered flag can jump.
Yeah, if you want, yeah, for photo. Good luck. สู้ๆครับ
Okay. Thank you.
So now people are locking down their start devices, and I already locked down my start device. I can do it myself just with the front brake. I got the Works Connection start device, by the way. And I did a short clip on my YouTube channel. If you click in my shorts in the menu, you can find a video where I show how I do it, by the way, if you want that. So now I chose the inside starting gate, and that means that I really have to get in front, otherwise I'll get squeezed into the berm on the inside. So I'm taking a gamble here, and now you can see the official here is asking everybody if they're ready. So now it's time to get into the mindset. It's hard to describe how much pressure there is on the starting line if you're not a motocross racer. The bikes are so loud, you have to really stay focused. And you have to believe 100% in yourself. Let's go, man. Good luck. Yes, so I got the whole shot. It was an amazing feeling. But as you maybe noticed, I didn't get in front from the very beginning. In the first second, I was actually not in front. And that's because I'm running stock gearing with a 50 teeth rear sprocket. I think if I had a 51 or a 52 sprocket on, it would pull harder and not bog down in the first 10 meters. But then on the other hand, after the 10 meters, it pulled longer and it pulled in front. So I'm happy. Wee-hoo! So as you can see, I'm protecting the inside line, taking the inside to make sure that the guys behind me, they're not trying to pass me. But in this case, I took the outside because I could hear I already had a gap, and that outside does feel a lot faster. Again, here I'm taking the outside, then cutting to inside, and here taking the inside for sure. But I felt like I was already building a gap in the beginning here. We will have a look after the first lap. We will see some footage seen from the outside from my cameraman. And then we can see both the race start in slow motion and also some other footage to see how big the gap is from me to second place. Because I built a decent gap, as you will see during the race, and then I turned my intensity down to 95%, and then I lost the gap, and actually the second place guy, he almost caught me on the last few laps. So I almost lost the lead in the last few laps, as we will see. And I also made a mistake that I overjumped a jump and almost lost control of the bike 1 second. So if you stick around for that, you will see how I managed to save it and how I won the race, even though I made those mistakes. And I also made arguably a mistake on the finish line jump. I'll go through an analysis of these mistakes during this video. I won't show you the full race in the GoPro because I already posted it previously. But I will go through the mistakes that I made in this race, so you can maybe learn from it as a racer. Because as you maybe know, if you watch professional racing as well, even the top riders in the world that have raced thousands of races, they say that they learn something in every race, because every race is slightly different. So I also learned a bunch of stuff in this race, and I'll go through it with you. But so far so good, happy days. I'm leading and I'm having a blast. It's such an amazing feeling to lead a race on this level. This is a FiM Asia Championship, so this is all the best guys in Asia from 35 to 49 years old in my category. Now let's watch some race footage from my cameraman. And I'm the rider, of course, furthest away from the camera. And even though I almost executed a perfect start, I'll talk about what I could have done better in order to pull away from the very beginning of the gate drop. Because as you will see, the rider next to me, he actually gets a better jump. He pulls away in the first 10 meters. And then you can start to see around now, my white helmet is starting to get in front after about 10 meters, I think. So the three things I can think about I could have done better would be to change the rear sprocket, as I mentioned, up to a 51 or a 52, giving it more torque on the first 10 meters. And then also maybe putting my hole shot device on a lower precision because it was on a slightly high precision. And then the last thing would be to maybe get an FMF race exhaust because I'm running a stock exhaust actually. Now let's go through key moments of the race, starting with lap 1. As you can see in lap 1, the rider behind me in second place, he's pretty close still, and I could sense that, so I started to increase intensity and really start sprinting. And as you will see, I pull away, so we will follow the gap that I create during the first few laps, and then we will see how the gap increases, and then we will also see how in the end of the race the gap becomes around 2 seconds. And I'll talk about why I did it and what the strategy was, and then what I think you should do. Okay. So now we are watching footage from lap 2 and we will check the gap now. I can do that by using the editing software and look at the timing from, for example, this takeoff here. Let's see when the next guy will come. So when he crosses the takeoff, I'll just pause the video and then calculate the gap. So here it's 5 seconds. So I'm actually surprised that within 2 laps I was able to sprint away, creating a gap on 5 seconds. Because my usual riding style is not intensity, it's about riding smooth and about riding effortless with correct body position and focusing on riding mistake-free. But in this race I actually changed my riding style. Also because I was injured, I actually tore my pec 3 weeks ago. So in this race I couldn't even do one push-up if you asked me to. It hurt so much, so I couldn't apply weight on the handlebars. And if you look at my body position in this race, it's not as good as usual. I'm dropping my elbows because I'm constantly pulling the handlebars to make sure that I don't apply pressure down on the handlebars by accident, which I normally do. So normally I ride the bike more over the front with my chest and helmet over the front, elbows more out and knees further back. But anyways, now let's jump to the last lap, because here I almost got past in this turn. I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but this guy, he cuts to the inside. I will show it to you again from the GoPro. You can really see how I almost get past or T-boned. But I pull away, so the gap is down to 1.8 seconds now, and I really increased the intensity. And in case you wonder why I lowered my intensity in the middle of the race to about 95%, that was because I was trying to manage the lead and ride with the safety margin to limit the risk of making mistakes. So it got really close, but I managed to pull away again, and here you see me crossing the finish line, and yes, I won the race, and we will see it again from the GoPro. As I said, because then you can really see how close he was to being able to pass me. So now let's quickly go through the GoPro footage with 2 laps to go, and you can see I'm starting to pass the lappers, people that are the slowest in the race. And then here, look at what I do in this jump. I over jump it too much and I had a really hard landing. I actually whiskey swaddled slightly. So this is an example of where I could have actually lost the race. If I just whiskey swaddle, let's say 50% swaddle, I may have lost control of the bike. And then let's watch the same turn again here, where the guy comes close to passing me. Look, I take the outside. And then you see second place right here. He could have actually gassed it and drove into me if he wanted. But probably that would have taken out both of us and we would have both crashed, as he will say after the race. You will see some footage of that as well. So what you can learn from this is you should be checking behind you. Like find a place on the track where you have time to look behind you and check the gap to the next rider. How far are you in front? Because you need to monitor that throughout the race. If you don't have a mechanic that show you a pit board, which I didn't. And of course be careful not over jumping jumps too much. But anyway, here I crossed the finish line as a winner and it was an amazing feeling. But to be honest, I could have also lost the race at the finish line because I forgot to check behind me if he was close enough to pass me over the finish line. But hey, we got it done, man, and I learned something. Okay, Joel, man. I just won. Good luck, guys. So maybe you can ask, honey. Ask when we're going to the podium. That was a good race. Yeah, man.
Oh, bye.
ครับขอเรียนเชิญด้วยฮะสติ๊กเกอร์สมิธที่4ชลิตโสมนัสและที่ 5 น้อยหัวมันทีมงานรามันบุรีเหลนะครับทั้งหมดที่เรามี 3 ประเทศนะครับคุณเต้มาประเทศจากฟิลิปปินส์นะครับดร.แซมนั้นจากประเทศกวมนะครับโอเคให้คิวเลยครับ 3 นาทีครับ
High five.
Good job, Bill.
Thank you so much. Ranger, can you guess who just won the race? It was Papa. Yep, Papa just won the race. He did. He's very good. Yeah, then Papa is gonna have a electrolyte drink, sport drink from Thailand. Well deserved.
Now นะครับ
Okay, time to go to the podium, guys. Okay, time to get on the
On
ground.
to the next one Veteran Podium เชิญครับนักแข่งครับในสาย A นะครับตำแหน่งที่ 1 นะฮะโทบิสจานนะครับตำแหน่งที่ 2 นะครับทิติวุฒิวงศ์ยาลาตำแหน่งที่ 3 พัทคันดี้ตำแหน่งที่ 4 ฮะโตศิลสิทธิ์ผู้ทอง และตำแหน่งที่ 5 นะครับสำหรับอีก
Selfie. เยอะที่2จะอะไรครับ
All the rider of 1 to 5th position, please go to the podium. All the rider of 1 until 5th position, please go to the podium. Thank you.
This guy second place, and he was so friendly. He could have crashed into me and maybe like make me crash and pass me, but he was very good manners and didn't do it. And I'm so happy that he didn't do that.
อันดับครับมาที่โพเดียมอันดับขึ้นรับรางวัลเลยครับสาย A ก่อนนะครับ5 อันดับครับที่ 4 นะครับที่ 4 เป็นของโตศิลสิทธิ์ผู้ทองด้านนี้ครับ5 อันดับนะครับแล้วก็อีก2นะครับเนี่ยรอบที่ 1 ครับตัวเวสดาวครับจากเดนมาร์กนะครับบอกไปด้วยเดนมาร์กนะครับเป็นตำแหน่งที่ 1 ครับ
แล้วขึ้นไปทำไม
มีรางวัลพิเศษจากป๋าแซมด้วยนะครับ
ไปขึ้นอย่าง6 คน
นะครับตรงนี้นะตำแหน่งที่ 2 ครับทิติวุฒิวงศ์ยาลาครับเป็นตำแหน่งที่ 2 คนไทยทิติวุฒิวงศ์ยาลาดูก็รู้ว่าหน้าไทยๆนะฮะและอันดับที่ 3 คือ
Take Condi from Philippines
ฟิลิปปินส์มาอันดับที่ 3 ครับ
for 3rd position. Congratulations, Take Condi from Philippines.
ป๋าตรงนี้ครับอันดับที่ 4 ด้านนี้ครับโตศิลสิทธิ์ผู้ทองนะครับพอจะรู้จักอิทธิพัฒน์สมพงษ์ลูกชายเสกสรรสมพงษ์เกี่ยวมาลาแล้วก็มอบให้กับพ่อพัทรกรด้วยนะพี่เชียวมาลาแล้วก็พ่อพัทรกรนะที่6เลขที่ 7 นะ
Podium, please be ready.
เร็วนิดนึงครับ
Okay, guys, so done for today. And I got the win at the FiM Asia Motocross Championship of 2024 in the Vets class. So that's pretty good to put on my CV as a motocross coach. Here's the trophy, and that's going to look very good on my shelf back home. I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported me. I want to say thank you to Ref 100 Decals. Follow them on Instagram. Get some stickers for your bike. If you want to learn how to ride fast, join Fast Club Online Coaching by clicking the join button, as you probably know, on the Fast Club Online Coaching level. And I also want to say that I do this race also to bring attention to human rights, because since 2020 there has been a campaign to limit the human rights, and there has been a transfer of wealth and political power to a number of very few people. And that's because we're soon entering an era of a robotic workforce. And I have some big announcement to make about this. But make sure you follow me on social media. I have a big project going on as well in that topic with AI and robotics. But for today, let's have a beer and celebrate. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. And remember to subscribe and like the video if you like it. See you in the next one.